Welcome to the Sage of Three Paths podcast. We are three brothers who use this space to talk about a range of topics. Anything from politics, race, anime, and pop culture. Each giving our own perspectives and opinions. I'm the youngest, Mo Jana, also known as Junior Lamb.
I'm the oldest, Okello, but my brothers call me AJ.
Middle child Oz, aka Wizard King.
We three brothers. One sec. We once again thank you for tuning in and joining us on this sometimes cathartic journey. Let's dive right in.
Oh, he's got insurance. His insurance is dad.
Even better. That's a good payment plan.
Better than
So
Geico.
what you guys gonna be doing then?
For the
Yeah, like what Oz is saying, you know, it's nice to have
well,
an open,
The thing is,
a middle.
I have an idea of
That's
how I
nice.
want to open.
Okay.
The format of it is a natural conversation, which
Yeah.
is why we're not trying to put too many. Or we're going to talk about this, because we
Yeah.
tried, but even last time we had something in reserve, and we brought that in an hour and a half after we had been talking about random nonsense. Because
Yeah.
a question or a conversation will start, someone will talk, and it will spin off into all sorts of stuff, which is what we're going for, just a natural conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, in that conversation, some gems of wisdom or whatever can be taken.
Can be taken from
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Because sometimes again, when you, like you say, it's fine to plan, but sometimes what happens, you try to stay on script.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which we don't want to do.
Are you more of a planner or... No, you're more of a go with the flow guy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You?
I think maybe traditionally I would have been go with the flow, but because of the work I do, I can't be go with the flow.
Your work forces you to be more of a... You have to plan ahead. Well, I guess so. You have to. You're doing big projects.
But I like it. I like that I've had to learn that skill. And I was having a conversation with my friend actually yesterday, and we were talking about the process is more important than the product. People that focus on the product, yeah, it's great, but when a product is complete, what's next? The next product, right? Whereas if you master and focus on the process, it doesn't matter what the product is, you know that your process is this. So if I do A, B, and C, I know whatever the outcome is, I'll get to D. So yeah, I think with my work, it's definitely been something that I've had to learn my process of learning.
I think with the process again, what it gives you, it lets you appreciate the outcome. Because you go through this process, like okay, and then when you get to the final product, it's like oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just seems like another way of saying it's not the destination, it's the journey to get there. Which is why I much rather prefer the just winging it approach in life. I think there should be a grand plan in the background, but, live day to day, because who knows what can happen, rather than planning, oh, we're coming here with dad, so let's make a podcast. It was a situation of, I blackmailed dad into coming... I blackmailed dad into coming with us. Now that we have him, just when we were driving down here, some of the conversations that we were having with dad, I've never had these conversations with dad. And most of the time I spend with dad for the last few years, especially being an adult. Because obviously, mom and dad had broken up. And yes, dad was still there, but for a large part, he wasn't there to have certain conversations with us. So now that I'm old enough and I'm having these conversations, perhaps I have more of appreciation for it. And I see that with my eldest. So I'll be telling him something and I'm like, man, I'm dropping mad knowledge about just living here. And you're just kind of looking at me like, okay. Which I understand that the information perhaps I'm giving to him is quite overwhelming. Which is why as an adult, I'm able to appreciate conversations with dad now. Or perhaps more so than I would have. Which is, I really do appreciate that. Oh, let's just go with the flow. Let's just see what happens. Have an overarching plan. I mean, we have an overarching plan to record as much as we can. But day to day, whenever an opportunity arises, we take it That's how I feel about it. But Osman, you're still a...
Yeah, I prefer planning. Do you know what? For the majority of my life, I've been go with the flow. I think to get to this point where I am now, I have been going with the flow. So for me, it's almost a taboo thing to just take your hands off the reins and just live day by day. For me, I need to see those little victories to build up to
the master plan.
Yeah, to build up to the master plan. For me, that's very, very important. Obviously, everyone's journey is slightly different, but even just this impromptu recording that we've decided to do, in my heart, I'm like, damn, we should have really had something in front of us at least, so we're all on the same page and we can all head in the same way together. I'm not saying it's the worst thing for us to sit down and have a talk, because as you say, in the car, we didn't sit down and say, oh, well, we're going to drive 5 miles and then talk about this, and then after we hit the M25 and then we're going to talk about this.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
No, not
exactly.
at all.
No.
If it's something that we're creating, I don't know, based from my life and how I've lived it so far, and the rules that I'm putting in place in order to progress my life even further, because I care about this project, we care about all you guys so much, I'm worried that if we don't plan, it could fall short and just be like, oh, it's okay, we just move on to the next thing. That's completely fine, because we get up and go. That's what we do, that's who we are. But because I'm invested in it so emotionally and spiritually, because genuinely I love these conversations that we have.
It's great.
Because I haven't been here for so long, to be able to not pick up where we left off, but to be able to have conversations as an adult to say, okay, these are my views based on the life that I have lived, and it's interesting to hear all of your views as well. Ultimately, I just want to plan, but it's okay. See, that whole rant would have been so succinct if that was planned.
If it was planned.
If it was planned, I would have come with point, example, point, example, conclusion. Give me an A on the essay. I would have, but again, that's just how
you
it
got
is.
your point across.
That's just how it is.
And it was natural, which for me, this podcast has always been about. And we're just trying to show you, Dad. It really is just having conversations which are natural. And one thing I'll try and give some advice as an older brother, and you guys tell me if it's good advice or bad advice that I give him, but don't put too much pressure on yourself with the plan. The plan is good to have in life.
Agreed.
But life is just so random. Wherever you think you're going to go, work hard towards it. You might start going there and you realize, I don't even like that idea. You know, when we were kids, and especially being African kids, you're told it's one of three things that you may remember. It's doctor, lawyer, or accountant, on the lines of that. So there's that real, and I had it as well, actually, growing up, that pressure of my grades are not so good. And it was only when I went to uni for myself, because obviously I went to uni as a mature student. I completely failed my first opportunity to get to uni at the right age. But when I went to uni for what I can consider for myself, for my own reasons, I excelled. I was one of the top, like, I'm always sitting in the front. I want to be there. There wasn't so much the pressure of, I have to do this. It was more of I enjoy doing this. I enjoy learning, engaging. Like, all my lecturers would have conversations with me, and when I was leaving, they wanted to keep in contact with me to see where I would be going, because we would just have discussions. Like my immigration teacher, so I studied law in university for my bachelor's degree. I may have said that before in the podcast, but just so everyone understands for the listeners, I studied law in my bachelor's, and different lecturers are teaching different subjects. So I did immigration law, and it was, shouts out to my immigration lecturer. He was such an amazing guy. He was married to a Pakistani woman, born and raised in Pakistan. She came to the UK to do uni, and he met her, and he's born and raised in the UK. You can trace his heritage back to English for as far back as he's able to. And I remember him saying to me, you need to understand that the immigration policy of the UK, and this is in the middle of a lecture where he and I are just having a conversation, and the other students are kind of just sitting down. Some would give input on the conversation, but so the others are just sitting down listening to our conversation. And I remember my lecturer saying to me, I'll never forget this, he goes, you need to understand that the idea behind English immigration is that the English don't want any more immigration. And it was just like, the penny drops, because you pay attention to politics and immigration law and all this type of stuff. It's like, it's really, really, really difficult to become a citizen of this country. If you're not born here or have like your heritage ties here, it's incredibly difficult. And when my lecturer had said that to me, the penny just dropped and was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the reason why I brought his wife, who was from Pakistan, was he would tell me, like in conversations, he would say how difficult it was. And I believe at the time his wife hadn't even got her residency. Even though she was married to him, they were still having to jump through hoops because she came from Pakistan in particular. So, yeah, it's I kind of ranted there. I can see why you say have a plan. But I guess essentially, to go back to it, don't put too much pressure. Let conversations be natural. Have that goal, but you may work towards it and not want it and go somewhere else and think, oh, this is even better than what I thought. Because what do you know when you start off with? It's easy to say, I want to be a doctor. Do you know what it takes to be a doctor? Do you know what it is once you're a doctor, how many hours you're working? Especially in this pandemic, you hear some of the stories of doctors and how they're working like crazy. Or even like care home workers and things like that, because obviously Dad works in the care industry. It's full on. It's been absolutely crazy.
I think you touched on a topic there that I kind of, I don't know, a question just sprung to my mind. Dad, are you legal? Like, are you legally here? I just got to ask that question because I know I am. I got the certificate. Yeah, you legal? Cool.
Yeah.
Of course that's legal.
Yeah, of course that's legal.
But you know what? It's quite interesting that you asked that question.
Yes.
Like, Dad has done a fantastic job at keeping certain things about his life to himself.
Yeah.
Unless you go prying for an answer, then perhaps he'll take you on the runaround with
you don't get
some
a straight
crazy
answer
story
from
that
Dad.
happened from back in the day.
Yeah.
You're like, cool, thanks for the story. It's extra knowledge, but did you answer the question? So it's quite interesting. When's Dad's birthday? Tell me. I've seen his driver's licenses multiple, because he can drive anything under the sun. Give this guy a rocket ship. Yeah. He'll be flying to the moon.
Dad can drive anything.
So what is this guy's birthday? To both of you.
I told you already.
Okay, cool,
listen.
cool. Me and AJ
I
have done
don't know Dad's birthday.
okay, cool.
I don't.
You're
know.
not playing the game?
I
Play
don't
the
know,
game, man. Play the game.
June, July.
I was gonna say
Close
June.
enough.
I was gonna say June, July.
What year was Dad born in?
I'm gonna say.
Talking about, is he even from this country? Do you know when his birth date is, birth year?
I'm gonna say 19.
Of course.
Six.
It's not going to be 18 out here.
No, 1964.
Don't worry, Pops. The secret's not going to come out. I'm going to say that's wrong. That's it. That's it. Because I know, I've seen it myself. And I was like, damn, all these years.
Yeah.
I'm like, again, I'll coin the term, the penny dropped. I was like, damn, this guy knows some stuff.
Yeah.
He knows some stuff. You got to know some sugar.
Yeah, but I think I always say generally in life, you always, it's easy to say, no secrets. Because those are just words. In reality, every single person on earth has got a secret. It's easy. Everybody. Because you go into a union, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Just like what you say, it's nice to plan. But if there's a war and then they try to tell everybody within that battalion what the plan is for the war, okay, it's going to come out. Somehow. You're going to find out. Somehow your enemy are going to know about what you're planning. Because you don't know. You're going on your journey. you don't know, halfway through the journey, you might be going, 10 of you, and then people start dropping.
Yeah.
So if you let your guard down from the beginning, everybody knows about you. Everybody knows exactly where you're going to end up. So if you fall out with somebody, next thing you know, yeah, don't worry, I fall out, but I know where he's going. Anyway, I'm going to go and wait for him there. Or I'm going to make sure I send the bad guys there for him. So always have something.
You see, that's a really interesting way of thinking, and I have two things to say on this. The first one is what people won't realize. So I will inform them is my dad's nickname. Since I was a kid, I remember people would call my dad 007.
007, yeah.
And as a kid, I didn't really get it, but as an adult, I definitely see. Yeah. This guy's if they were to do a casting for the Black James Bond. If they were to.
I know we spoke about Idris last time, but I think
Dad would
Dad's
be
taking
the.
it over Idris, yeah.
But then the second thing I have to say is, it seems somewhat that you're guarded for information, but for us, we were your children. Why would you guard your birthday from us?
I didn't. You guys didn't just kind of.
Or was it the case of you were just genuinely guarded, and because you're genuinely when we come interacting with you, we're meeting you someone who is a guarded individual.
Mm-hmm. It's just like what you guys say with regards to celebration, birthdays and stuff like that. I remember one time it was my birthday, and it's Dad's birthday, and then you says, Dad, don't bother about birthday anyway. And then Eddie say, yeah, you've kind of brought us up to not take it as a big deal, because for me, those sort of things, it's all commercialized. And for me, anything that is commercialized, I try not to get sucked into it, because if you want to, humor somebody, if you want to, be nice to somebody, it's not because of an occasion. You have to always be.
I hear that.
Because if you always be, the little things that are just coming due to, because of the festival, because of this, really, it makes you don't just do it for that once.
Which for me, it goes, it shows how much, because with you and Mum having separated and, we didn't grow up predominantly with you in the house at a certain age. Well, I was about 13, 14 when you left.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you, Mum, never got back. So from that age, yes, we did see you and we would spend holidays with you, but there was a lot of time we're not with you, as I said before. But it shows to me how much still being around you influenced us. Because I don't celebrate my birthday.
Yeah, I'm the same.
It's no big deal to me. It's just like it's just a day. If you want to humour me and do something nice for me, then just do it. You don't need the excuse of I was born this day.
Yeah.
So
that's my take on birthdays and some of these occasions as well.
So in a weird way, although we still don't really know what your birthday is, I'm kind of the same anyway. In fact, I think the only way I will fall flat for my children, for them to actually know my birthday, is that my wife makes a big hassle over birthdays. Otherwise, for me, it's just like, just keep it moving. It's another day.
Just another day.
Yeah.
So with that being said, do you feel the same about Valentine's Day, or did you celebrate Valentine's Day?
Across all, I think if there's anything, that's one of the things that I think, Valentine's Day, Christmas Day.
Yeah.
You say that.
I hear that. What did you do for this Valentine's Day? Just gone. Because we're late February now. Did you just sit at home, watch the football and just relax at home? Or did you go out to eat? Or...
I know if we go to Dad's house, they're going to see some cards there. Definitely.
Okay, so this Valentine's Day, obviously due to the pandemic, there was nowhere to go. That's one good excuse, which is, that's thank you, COVID. Okay. But yeah, I didn't do nothing. I didn't go nowhere. I didn't get a card. I didn't get a flower. It's interesting, which is one thing that I did do for Valentine's Day. I actually made a breakfast, a lovely breakfast for the missus.
Okay.
But I do that all the time anyway. But I mean, obviously, I was home to Sunday. I didn't go for my normal. That's the only thing I didn't go for my normal Sunday walk. I did not. But I just did that, but not card. But having said that, the missus sent me a Valentine wishes, and I said, so again, it come back to what I'm saying about the pressure, because then you want to follow, and I'm not somebody who likes to follow. So just to be, about it, I just kind of resend the same message that she sent to me.
That's a great. I'm gonna do the same. That's a great.
Same message, because it's I just have my reservation with that, because I don't want it to be because of that.
Yeah.
You're not showing somebody an affection because of some sort of a celebration. I think if you do it often, they don't mind if he doesn't, because they know, oh, no big deal. Yes, people will beg to differ about that, but that's my take on it. I'd rather do something for somebody before a big occasion that is coming towards their life. I'd rather do that. If I know it's your birthday, I'll probably take you out before your birthday. So that you don't say I take you out because of your birthday. Because it's not because of that. I'm just doing it to you because,
So this Valentine's, first and foremost, me and G, we don't celebrate Valentine's. We from the beginning, we asked each other, do you celebrate this stuff? Because I don't really care for it. And she said the same. And we do stuff for each other nice anyway. So like you say, I think if you put the money where your mouth is and you actually do something for someone, they don't care so much for Valentine's Day. But this Valentine's Day, a few weeks before, I was at work and I was having a meeting with my manager, and we were talking, and she was saying how Valentine's was coming up, and she's been with her partner for like 15 plus years, and how they don't celebrate it, but they do nice things for each other anyway. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much the same as that. And like after I leave here, I'm probably gonna buy my wife some flowers, and just because. And she was like, oh, that's lovely. I was like, yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna do that. So as I was doing my work meeting in a completely different city, by the time I got home, I totally forgot about the flowers. So at the back of my mind, it was always the case of, oh, you need to get G those flowers. And the days are turning into weeks, and Valentine's is getting closer and closer. So like, finally, let's say just under a week before Valentine's Day, I was doing some shopping and I walked past it. I almost left the shop. I was like, let me go get those flowers. So I went and I got the flowers, and I came home, and she sees it and she goes, who's that for? So I was like, no, it's for you. So she absolutely loved it. It was great. And then Mo was there, and Mo goes to me, did you buy those so that you don't have to buy anything on Valentine's Day? And I looked at him. I was like, no. And Mo looks at me and goes, because I would do that.
Welcome to the Sage of Three Paths podcast. We are three brothers who use this space to talk about a range of topics. Anything from politics, race, anime, and pop culture, each giving our own perspectives and opinions. I'm the youngest, Mo Jana, also known as Junior Lamb.
I'm the oldest, Okello, but my brothers call me AJ.
Middle child Oz, aka Wizard King.
Yeah. Mine got her Valentine's gift a couple months ago.
Okay. What was your Valentine's gift?
No, I also agree. I take the same approach. We don't also celebrate Valentine's Day. We had that conversation, and it was like, to be honest, we don't need to be told a day for us to show that affection.
To celebrate your love.
Yeah. That's just something we should do, as and when we feel, and it should just be natural. It shouldn't be, this is forced upon you and this is how you should do it. So yeah, standard, just flowers.
But you can also see how we got that from Dad. That whole fundamental concept.
Yeah. Even my birthday, a few weeks back, I mean, I had the day off work, but I just chilled. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't want to do a big thing. And even mum called and she was like, we need to make sure that we do a big 30 for you because, we didn't do a 21, we didn't do a 18, and your brothers had that. And I was like, I never really wanted any of that, to be honest. And I'm pretty sure they didn't too.
No, we didn't want it either. It was forced on us. It was forced on us, yes.
Yeah, interesting.
How about yourself? Are you a guy who celebrates these holidays?
Do you know what? I feel like I've played that game. Yeah, well, I'm playing that game. Whenever I'm in a relationship, when the day comes, although I like to be quite nice and treat someone, regardless of the day, when it is a particular day, because society as a whole says something needs to happen on this day, I play that game. I'm like, cool, I will buy something on someone's birthday, on Christmas or whatever. If I have the money, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I'd definitely do that
I
for
play
the
that
kids.
game. Like, it's interesting listening to you guys to say before, like, a couple of weeks beforehand, a week beforehand, you're doing something, not always with the intent of, oh, this is in replacement of that day. But yeah, I play the game. Hands up, I play the game. I'm in. I'm all in.
So you get flowers and bears and cards. Fair enough. I mean, millions of people do. It's a booming industry. Like these holidays, it's where a lot of companies make their money.
But do you know what? As long as it's sprinkled in with the odd random gift, because that's where you show your true affection.
Yeah.
It's almost obligatory, and I get what you guys are saying. It's obligatory. Someone's birthday, it's just like, oh, do you know what? Here's something for you on this day. But that needs to be intertwined with 10 days after the birthday, 3 years later, whatever. Just a random day. If you feel that in your heart to say, I want to treat this person's on my mind, and it could be money, it could be food, it could be whatever. Give that to that
Yeah,
person.
there's also the people that will be, I don't want to say the word suffering, but they don't have that maybe showing of affection or love, or it's their birthday. Maybe they don't get that period. So the fact they can have a Valentine's Day where they do have it, it's like at least one day this year
100%.
I can receive something, or be made to feel special or important
100%.
or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think the only issue I have with that, when you do, say, come to something like a Valentine Day, when you do, which now everything is prescriptive, okay? But Valentine is associated with flowers, chocolate, and card, okay? So do you actually give this gift because you have affection for the person, or do you just do it because you are made to do it? So really, that's the problem I have with why I say, I'm not one who celebrate, because I want to do it because I have an affection. I don't want to do it because society tells me, say, oh, well, you have to go and buy chocolate and flour. Maybe whoever you're buying it for, they don't even, they just playing the game. Like what you say. They just appreciate you for you.
And I guess I can also appreciate having a reminder, because the normal way of living pre-COVID, people don't have time, arguably. I would argue you always have the time, but you can be lost within work, within chores, within looking after kids, within whatever it is. So having that day to just say, hey, take some time out and show your partner or whatever that you care for them, I can appreciate how that is useful. But it does come from the caveat of you're not doing something in general anyway.
I think again, one thing that I look at, being from the African community, there's a lot of things when it comes to gifts and being affectionate to, especially African men, for us to be affectionate towards our wives or girlfriend or partner. We cannot have this held back or reservation. You understand? Because for me, most of the time when I speak to, couple, in terms of showing your affection, because sometimes, it's easy for us to take our wives or partner for granted, especially coming from that community. We always put them at the back burner, okay, including family as well. Okay, for the men, I always say, for me, one thing I try to say, okay, every time I get paid, I'll buy one thing for myself, and I'll take my wife out for a meal. It could be anywhere, every month, once a month.
Yeah, no, that's good.
You understand? I'll take her out for a meal.
It could even
be McDonald's, but it's a meal where I say, oh, I'm gonna take you out, we're gonna go and eat. Well, good thing is my wife likes to eat out. Any new restaurant she would like to go. So for me, even if then the way I do it, I don't have a specific day to say we're gonna be going out this day. Okay,
so it's not
it could
routine.
be any day. It's not routine. So it could be any. I remember one time, we almost coming towards the end of the month, and I haven't taken her for meal because we both have been busy. And I think, okay, the only way I will have to do this so that I don't end up falling back. she was going to work. She works at night. So I just said, okay, I tell you what, don't eat before you go to work. On your way to work, we go to a restaurant.
Nice.
She eat. It was a rush, but at least she had food before she went to work.
Yeah.
So you see, so some of those sort of things that I always say, I say it's easy for us to just kind of don't show affection because we African. And again, coming from the African community as well, one thing that I always kind of think I don't understand, what we don't do, I think I'm mourn with my cousins, my other brothers that are not doing it, about spending time with the children. We're too busy working, doing the double shift. And then when we do decide to say, okay, we're going to go on holiday, which most Africans do with my children, you want to take your children on holiday, you take them home. Okay? That's not vacation. Yes, you can take them home to Africa just so that you show them what Africa is. But I just think for a family man, especially for an African, it's very important that you try to spend maybe once a year, okay? You try to spend once a year on holiday with your children.
Yeah.
You understand? Because what we fail to realize, with kids, there's a lot of things that we rush to do for them. They don't remember those things. It's the time they spend with you. That's what they remember.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I always remember, even though our last group holiday we went on, which was, I think,
What's that, to the States?
Yes.
That's back in 08.
08. Thank you. You see, you still remember the time, isn't it? 08. You still remember that. About a month ago, I got you some clothes. You probably won't even remember the colors of most of them.
No. 100%.
You understand? But you still remember 08. So that's what sometimes I just think. I say it's a lot more expensive to take your kids home
Than
on
to just
holiday
take
than
them.
to just take them to Cornwall, or you take them to Tenerife, or you take them to Turkey.
Just to be able to spend that time with them.
Yeah, it's just you and your children, your wife, it's just you. But we don't do it.
Like for me, one thing in particular that I've had with me for the majority of my adult life was a saying, a conversation you and I had. It was a time when I was looking to leave the house for the first time to move to Bradford. And obviously mum was like, no. And grandma was like, no. And dad pulled me to the side and we were talking, and dad goes, all right, so in life, there's going to be things that you think is best for yourself, but your mother, myself, and others will try and talk you out of it. And you may still choose to do it and will be upset by it, but if it's something you feel you need to do, then you do it. I may not be happy about it, I may be upset with you, but you're my son. I'm not going to turn you away or anything like that. And it might be a case of you go and you fail, but it's okay. I'm not going to close the door on you because you've gone. And that's always kind of stuck with me. And on top of that, it was a case of it's okay to make mistakes while you're young because you don't have a family attached to you. You're able to be mobile and say, okay, I'm going to move to that place and just go. But when you have a family, it's a lot harder. You got to think, all right, where the kids go in school, how's this going to work? How's that going to work? And you don't appreciate the depth of the conversation, as I was saying before, because I was 18. Yeah, I left the house around 18. So you don't appreciate. But as an adult now with my own children, I know I just can't get up and leave as much as I want to. Like for me, relocating to Africa is something you guys have heard me say again and again and again, because I truly have that calling to go there and to be there. But it's not so simple. It's definitely not so simple. I've got my eldest he's with his mum who lives here, and if I was to move away from a place where I can easily see him, it would be very easy for her to then say, all right, well then this guy's not interested in you and you're not going to Africa to see him, which I know she wouldn't allow him to do anyway. You know, she had told me before.
Baby mama drama.
I'm right there with you, brother.
Baby mama drama. You see, this is why I observed, and when Dad was having that conversation with you, I was sitting there listening, and I was like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna take my opportunity, go to Leeds. Okay, now that I've spent my time here, take my opportunity, maybe move a bit closer to home, but also not be home, because I had that kind of time in limbo. I think COVID just had started. I was like, cool, I'm working, but I need to save money. I can't really afford a place by myself in London, but I also don't want to use this time or not use this time to have those opportunities and go for those things and take those risks. And I'm glad that I did, because obviously more opportunities and more doors open and more things come into fruition. So yeah, I've always just been scoping. I'm like the little Smeagol that just sits in the back. I'm just watching.
It's the advantage of being the youngest.
Yeah.
You know, as the oldest, I'm the one who's gonna go out and test the system, and usually be burnt by the system. And you have the advantage of watching, saying, "Okay, that's a dumb idea. don't do that." So my advice to any young men who are in a situation where they're with someone but they're not sure if it's someone that they want to have children with and settle down with, my advice to them would be wear a condom. And I know that that's quite like brutal to say, but the consequences are, you know, are life changing. And it becomes way more than just yourself, which, you know, is the fundamental basis of what Dad was trying to say to me when I was 18. You know, I was 18, I wasn't thinking that. I was actually just thinking, hey, I want to go, be free, have my own space, you know, try and get as many women as possible, that type of thing.
Trying to be 007.
Yeah, trying to live up to the...
Try to dethrone me.
No, I don't think I could ever have done that.
Yeah, but you know, in life you go through difficulties and learn. I think what you guys always have to know that sometimes it's a blessing to be born into a special family like our family, and you make mistakes, you don't have to worry about those mistakes, because the family is always going to be there to pick you up when you do show up again after those mistakes. Because end of the day, life is about being there for each other.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's proof. Even though the Janet family, you guys always say, you know, I mean, you always didn't want to go to the States to visit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then you went there. You were actually a proper adult in your 20s.
Yeah. It was the first time
Okay.
I
The
traveled
first
to see my
time
family
you
there.
traveled to the States. The first time you actually met most of your cousins.
Yeah.
And you come back to what I always say. When you met them, it's like you've known them your whole life.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the Jana way.
Yeah.
It's
No,
the
it was
January.
a great... Because essentially what happened was, growing up, there were several opportunities to go on holiday to the United States. And I didn't take them. And it was family holidays with you to see family on your side. Because our dad is actually one of 12?
13.
One of 13. So we've got families scattered everywhere. And we have a lot of family in the States. And I remember the very first time, I was about 16, 17, that you were going to go. And I wanted to get a car. And I wanted to buy my own car. And the holiday was coming for like the summer holidays. And I got a summer job. And I was like, I'm not going to go because I want to stay here and buy my own car. So you guys went to the States with Dad. And how was it for you guys, that first trip with the family?
Oh wait, yeah. Definitely. I mean, I was quite young. I don't remember how old I was, but it was.
I was 16,
Yeah.
15,
16. You
16.
actually turned 16.
On the holiday.
the holiday.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So I was 15.
So I
when
must
we
have been about 13, 14.
So I must have been about 17, 18.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great experience, to be honest. I think seeing how big the family is and just seeing, you know, as Dad said, these people I didn't know, but I had such an immediate direct connection and I was able to really gel with. I think it was the first time I felt, oh, so this is what it means to feel at home but not be in maybe the place that you grew up. So yeah, I think it was a really good experience for me. Yeah, I loved it. I loved the States. It was cool. But I also so I went the first time, and the second time it was a bit of a different experience because I was a bit older. But I think we can probably get into that.
No, I want to hear.
No,
What was the difference?
I guess it was a different period of my life, and I was going through a lot of reflecting and also planning, and I kind of had an idea of, okay, this is the vague plan I want to go through with in life, and I had a lot of time whilst I was there, and I was able to kind of really absorb the environment and see, okay, who am I, what am I accustomed to, where do I want to go, do I fit in a place like this, how do these people behave, why do these people behave like that? And I ended up, I don't want to say falling out of love with America, but I kind of was like, yeah, me personally, I understand why my dad didn't go over to that side as well. Yeah, I kind of had that same feeling. It was like, I don't think that all of that stuff that happens there is me. I'm more so, I don't want to say introverted, but I like to keep things compact rather than have everything on a mass scale.
Right.
Yeah, do you know, I'm of the same opinion. I think it's the only time that I went in 2008, and even then I was like, man, this place is incredible. It's different. The people are super friendly, super hot. Well, the climate can change. Like, we drove from North Carolina to Minnesota, which is like 23 hours drive, and the climate changed. It was sunny.
I'm going to Minnesota.
I'm talking about
I'm going to Minnesota.
Sunny in North Carolina, like vest and shorts, and going swimming. We drove down to Florida as well, and then we drove up to Minnesota, and it's cold. I'll tell you that difference where people are wearing jackets and the heating's on. Like, it went from AC to heating in the space of 23 hours drive. It was like, for me, just the scale of America. And again, like, how everything is just mass produced, and everything is large, from their food to the people to the personalities. It just doesn't sit with me. I don't see myself living there. And I clocked that back in 2008. I was like, do you know what? This is awesome to visit because we have so much family there, and it's fantastic because we it's good that we have those connections. We can go plant our feet and say, hey guys, what's good? But then ship ourselves back over the water to come back and sit next to the Queen and be like, hey,
and drink our tea.
Come on, Lizzie, go make me a tea. Go put gas and lecky on.
Fancy a brew.
Come on, Lizzie.
Yeah, it was a much smaller scope, and it's like, it's great coming from such a big family. I absolutely love that, and I had that feeling when I did go for the first time to the States, because I've been twice now to visit family, and each time I go, you just have that instant connection, with like your cousins, your aunties. It's like you've always been there.
Hold on. Your first trip, who did you go with?
Myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I went by myself.
I thought it's when you went with your wife.
No, that was my second trip.
Okay.
So I went by myself.
You've been to America twice.
I've been to America twice. Well, United States twice, America twice.
Confession session. Confession session.
Okay, I thought you went the first time and came back with your wife or fiance.
Hey, Okello here. This section is a space where we'll be sharing short stories, creative experiences, and art. This week, I'll be telling you about the tale of Sengbe the Gallant. The tale of Sengbe the Gallant Part 3. 3 days into the voyage to Puerto Principe, Cuba, Pierre freed himself and others from their shackles. They killed the captain, and 2 other crew members disappeared. Having taken over the ship, the Africans took Ruiz and Montez as prisoners, the merchants who had purchased them, and demanded that they direct the ship back to Sierra Leone. Instead, at night, they directed the navigator in the opposite direction towards the Americas, in hope of attracting the attention of one of their fellow Spaniards who would save their ship and regain control.
With calmness and stillness, it comes to an end. We hope you found some gems and go away richer in soul and spirit. We're showing you the 3 paths of the sage. Your path is your own. Which path do you follow? Until next time.